Spicy Shauna gang, this your girl Spicy Shauna coming back with you with another video. I call all my new subbies and subby subs Spicy Shauna gang. Tell a friend to tell a friend to come on over to Spicy Shauna's channel so you get to know me, I get to know you. We big one big happy family. Happy Friday, June the 23rd. It's the weekend. It's the weekend. I'm supposed to be getting my grandson tonight. Oh Jesus, wish me luck, y'all. But yeah, as y'all see by the title listed below, what this video is about how I went to jail, prison jail. No, not prison, precinct jail for 6.5 hours. Boo. So this was back in, let me see, I don't have no notes, I'm going by the top of my head. I just figured I wanted to share this with y'all guys. Everybody's life is not perfect and mine is far from it. This was when my daughter was 2. So this had to be in 1996. So I was with her father. My kids have the same dad, so I was with her dad. We was in a relationship, and I think we had a little argument for like 2 days argument. At this time I was staying with my mom. He had his own apartment, which my name was on his lease, so it was basically our apartment. But I was like, I wasn't ready to move in yet with him. I would go over there and go spend the night. But this was on a Friday too, guys. This typical day, so prior from that Friday, let's say that Friday was the 10th. So on the 8th, we had an argument. And on the 9th, we had an argument. And on the 10th, that's the day that it happened. So, so we was arguing over something stupid. I just started working. I was doing through a temp agency. I was working at a hospital called Downstate Hospital in Brooklyn. I got this job through a temp agency. It was paying good money. I was getting paid every week. Good job. And it was in the medical field. This is when I knew that I wanted to be working in a hospital. It was a temp agency. My representative who had gotten me the job was saying how the manager at Downstate Hospital, at the time I was working in medical records, was saying how good I am. I'm always on time. I'm never late. I do my work. I'm on my business. I'm not into the bull crap. You know, I was young. Doing my work. Always on time. Always asked if they needed help, if I was finishing my work. And it was just a good experience. And my representative was saying how they might transfer me over to be full-time, be on their payroll and not to the temp agency. They wanted to keep me as a permanent worker. So I was like, okay, good, exciting. So I didn't ever get to share that news with my kid's father because at the time we was doing a little argument. So Thursday night, he was telling me how he was supposed to be sick. He's not going to work. And this is the type of guy that went to work every day. Sick or not sick, he was always at work. Never missed a day. Always at time. He's like a friendly person. So his personality, oh, y'all got me spitting. His personality was, you know, friendly. So he knew everybody. Up until now, he still knows everybody. Everybody knows him. He knows everybody. So he said he was sick. He wasn't going to work. He was going to stay home. And at the time, as I'm going to work, my daughter was staying with my grandmother. God bless her heart. So I used to give her a fee every week for watching, you know, my daughter. So my daughter's father was saying how he would keep my daughter. And I was like, why you want to keep her if you're sick? He was like, I'm not like, he was saying he wasn't like that sick. He just had a cold or something he said he had. So I was like, all right. So he came to my mother's house and he came and got her. Me thinking nothing, whatever. Yeah, okay, you could keep her, whatever like that. So he said he was going to keep her for the weekend. Like he came that Thursday to come get her. And then I could come get her on Sunday to bring her back home to my mother's house. Fine with me, great. You know, but I was young at that time, so I wasn't like excited about having the weekend off because, you know, she was still 2 years old. Basically, I didn't want her to be with nobody, but, you know, that's her dad, so I was like, okay. That was my first child, and, you know, it was a little girl. I was so in tune with her, like I was overprotective mom. I didn't want her to be with nobody. I just want her to be with me where I come from work. But, you know, that's her dad, so fine. So my family at the time, you know, everybody goes to my grandmother's house. Every day, my grandmother's house is always full of kids. So somebody's always there, adults and kids. Everybody's still there. I mean, everybody is there. That's what we did. That was the place where we come and drop the kids off and go outside, and we got to go to work. She stayed there. She watched the kids, and you know, that was just the house where everybody come out and come eat Sunday dinner. That was just the place to go to. So I used to always go over there every day before, because at the time my grandmother was watching my daughter. So of course when I drop my daughter to her, I go to work, I come home. I mean, I go to my granny house, I go get her, and then I go home. You know, my mom's house. At the time I was staying with my mom. Right? So of course I'm there every day. So he came and got her, whatever like that, fine, whatever like that. So I knew something was a little off, because he was like, any other time when we're not arguing, he used to call me nonstop, back to back, back to back, back to back. But this particular day, when he came and got her, that Thursday, he wasn't calling. And he knew how I felt about my daughter. Like, I need to know what she was doing. That was just me. So he wasn't calling, nothing like that. So I wasn't calling either, because I don't want him to think that, oh, you know, the argument, the beef is squashed, because I'm a type of person that I know I'm wrong. I like to hold grudges. I hold grudges very, very well and very, very long, which is not healthy. So I wasn't giving in to him. So, okay, you don't call me, I'm not going to call you either. So, you know, that Thursday went by. I didn't speak to him. He didn't call me or whatever like that. Which, you know, in the back of my head, I knew it wasn't right. Something wasn't right. Always go with your gut feelings. So, Friday, you know, I get up because I had to be at work at 9 a.m. I work from 9 to 5. So, I got a feeling something wasn't right when I was at work. So he called me and he asked me something about my daughter. I don't know what the question was or whatever. So I was like, is you home? But I could hear in the background that when he used to call me when he was at work, I knew the familiar voices and, you know, the noise when he's at work. I said, you home? He was like, yeah, I told you, you know, and his sick voice, yeah, I told you I was sick, da, 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 da. But I knew that he wasn't home because of the background noises. So I was like, oh, okay. So whatever question that he asked me, it had to do something with her. I forgot what the question was. I don't know. So I told him whatever he needed to hear. And after I hung up with him, I didn't feel right. So at work, I'm working, but in the back of my mind, I'm not giving them my all in all like I always do. And the person that was training me was asking me, you okay? You don't seem like you okay. I was like, yeah, I'm okay, you know, playing it off because, like I said, my temp agency representative had got in contact with me and was saying how they want to hire me. So I can't show them that ugly, upset, downside. I had to show them still this perky person. But everybody go through a change of life, go through experience, you know, whatever. Remind you, I'm going to keep saying it, I was young. So I went to lunch. You know, my lunch break was from 1 to 2. After I came back from lunch, something told me to call his job. So when I called his job, everybody at the job knew me or whatever like that, you know. So I called his job and he answered. So I said, hello? Let's say his name was Peter. I said, Peter? He hung up on me. I called back. Somebody else answered. I said, hello, can I speak to Peter? Peter's not in today, he's out sick. I said, I just spoke to Peter, just answered the phone, so I know Peter's not home sick. No, he's not here, he called out. I said, okay. So, I called the house. So he wasn't expecting me to do all this calling because, like I said, I wasn't the type of person that hung you down and see where you at. That's not me. And up until this day, I'm still that same way. So I called the house. A female answered the phone. So I said, hello, who this? She said her name. Let's say her name was Sarah. I said, who this? She said, Sarah. I said, who are you? She said, Peter asked me to watch, because at the time my kid's father had an older daughter, you know, which I called my bonus daughter. Up until now, up until today, my kids and her is closer than I don't know what. They bond is crazy. Lovable. So she told me, Sarah told me that Peter asked her to watch the two girls while he go to work. I said, well, I'm the little daughter's mother. She hung up the phone. So I guess she got in contact with him. So now he's trying to call me or whatever. I think at the time we had beepers or something, pagers or something like that. It wasn't cell phones, it wasn't out at that time. So I asked my supervisor, I lied. I told her that my daughter is sick. It was a Friday. Can I please go home a little early? She said, go ahead, you enjoy your weekend. So I went over to his house. Remind you, like I keep saying, I'm going to keep saying, this apartment was for us. I wasn't ready to move in yet, but I still had keys. So I got in a taxi, went over to the house, and I see the older daughter outside. She was on the front of the building, like ramp. It's like a little ramp where kids like to flip over, jump over, stuff like that. So I was like, who you out here with? You know. And she said, Sarah and my sister. I said, where your sister at? And she said, she's coming down now. We going to the park. So I was like, oh, okay. So I'm going in the building. Peter lived on the 4th floor. So as I'm going up the steps, because the building only had, it was 4 stories. Is it 4 stories or 5 stories? I think it was 4 or 5 stories, but with no elevator. So you had to walk up and down. So I'm going up the steps. When I get to the 3rd floor, I hear his door being cut off for me. Talking about my camera too hot. How? Because I got the ring light on it. Anywho, wait, let me see. I'll push y'all back. Right? So I hear his door closing and locking. So she had his keys. And I hear my daughter yelling, crying. First thing as a mother gonna think is that she hit my daughter. So I didn't know of this girl, but I heard her name mentioned before. So instantly my adrenaline was up in a rage. And I'm taking 2 steps now to get to the 4th floor to see why my daughter's crying. And she knew of me. She saw pictures of me, so she knew me. Because when she saw me, she was in shock, like, oh. So I immediately jumped into her face and said, why, what, WHT, right? Is that what I'm supposed to say? WTF. Why is my daughter crying? What's going on? Oh, no. She wanted to go downstairs with the older sibling. And I told her that she had to wait because I had to change her. I said, why are you watching my daughter for? And she said, oh no, Peter asked me to watch them while he go to work. I promise you I didn't touch her. I didn't hit her. At the time my daughter was 2, was talking. I asked my daughter, she hit you? She said, no. You know, she said no, whatever like that. So I'm opening. I had to switch positions because it kept saying my camera was getting hot. I don't understand that. So I had to switch positions. So, where was I? So, she said, I promise you I didn't hit her. She just wanted to go downstairs with her older sibling. And I told her no. So I said, why are you here watching them? Oh, because Peter asked me to watch them. And I said, so who are you to Peter? And she said, I'm just a friend and he needed somebody to watch the kids while he go to work. I said, but Peter's sick. And she said, oh, I don't know nothing about that. He just called me. I was available, so I'm here. So as I'm using my key to open up the door, I could see her like feel some type of way because I got the key and I'm coming in hot. So she's coming in behind me and I'm looking, you know, I'm upset, so I wanted to hit her. I knew if I hit her, she's gonna call the cops. I'm going to jail. So I did the best thing I could do. I destroyed the house. I destroyed the house. I broke stuff. So as I'm doing all of the stuff, she calling him on the house phone. Oh, your baby mother is here and the apartment is messed up and this house is a mess. She broke everything and he could hear me in the background. I was saying, he got me messed up, blah, blah, blah. I should whoop your behind. Like, I'm threatening her, you know, saying what I should do to her. But at the time, not knowing that it's not her fault, it's Peter's fault for having her there. I had nothing to do with him no more, da, da, da. If y'all 2 together, y'all could have each other, because I don't want him, you know, do my little rant page. I was doing a little, you know, I blacked out. So he told her to put me on the phone, and I was like, you have the, so when I looked at the phone, I snatched it from her. You have the audacity to have another female watching my kid? If that was me and I had such another nigga, another guy watching our daughter, how would you feel? Oh, his rage is like, oh, somebody has somebody. Okay, so that's how I feel. Why do you have another female watching our daughter, and the kid and the oldest one is downstairs already by herself because she's up here with me with our daughter. So who's downstairs outside with the older daughter? So he was yelling like, why she got her down, you know, trying to flip the script now on her. Why you got my daughter? This thing gonna cut off, y'all. Why you got my daughter? Don't mind the stuff back here. Why you have my daughter outside by herself? And she was saying, you know, she was scared and nervous. I have her. I didn't know that Tashana's coming home and your daughter was crying and I didn't want nothing. I didn't want her to think something happened, that I did something to your daughter. Oh, what's she crying for? Flipping it on her because he got caught with another female watching the kids. So in the back, I'm laughing like, this man think I'm dumb. Think I'm done. So I snapped the phone from him and I told him, you gonna pay for this. You gonna regret that this ever happened. So I called my cousin at the time. I told her, come down here now. Because she was more of a fighter than me. Come down here now. Come bust this girl. My cousin came quick because it wasn't too far from my grandmother's house. And like I said, everybody be at my grandmother's house. So she came, was like, what's going on? What's going on? So she the one who was like, don't do anything to her because only thing the girl gonna do is call a cop. Da, 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 da. But I had to do something. Like something. So I saw her pocketbook. And I took her keys and her wallet out of her pocketbook. And I said to her, if you want your belongings, take it out of my hand and come get it. So I took my daughter. Me being petty, I left, you know, the older daughter with her. And I took my daughter and me and my cousin got in the cab and went, you know, to my granny house. So the whole time I'm at my granny house, he's calling my granny house. He calling. You took that girl's stuff? You took that girl? I said, oh, so she told you that I took something? Fast up. I gotta speed up this story because this camera keeps shutting off. You took that girl's stuff? You took that? I told her if she wanted her stuff to come take it out my hand, come get it. But she didn't do it. So yeah, I got her stuff. So he's the one who told her, because now he know where I was at, because he called my granny house and they gave me the phone. So now he know where I'm at. So he the one who told her, trying to get back at me, call the cops on her, because that's called stealing. So at the time my granny was there, my older cousin was there, everybody was at my granny house, you know. So she called the cops on me. So cops came. Y'all should have seen, like, I did some big time robbery. How many cop cars came? The police officer, you know, some was downstairs and 2 of them had came upstairs. So it had to be like 3 cop cars downstairs. And the first one that was on site, the 2 officers, they was Puerto Rican. They came upstairs and they said, hi, Tashana. Tashana, yeah. We're gonna have to take you in. It was something, you took such and such property that, oh my God. But y'all, this thing keeps shutting off talking about my phone is hot. I mean, my camera is hot. Alright, so the police officer asked Tashana, that's me, my name is Tashana. Is Tashana here? I said, yes, that's me. Did you take such property? Da 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 da. Yes, I did. All right, we're gonna have to take you down to the precinct. Put me in handcuffs. Put me in handcuffs. Never read me my rights, my Miranda rights, nothing like that. You had the right to remain silent. Anything you say, never got that. So as I'm going downstairs, you know, my granny lived in the project. So, you know, everybody outside because it was hot. It had to be in July or August. It was hot. Everybody outside. And he decides to leave work early too. And he left Sarah in the house with his older daughter while he comes to the project to see what's going on. So everybody knows that me and him was a couple, you know, together. We were still a couple, we were still together. So basically, at the time, I didn't know that they was dating, but as time progressed, I found out that they was together. So so basically, you was cheating on me, right? So they was like, yo Pete, that's effed up, you getting her arrested. Because I guess he told one person from the project that he talked to, like, that was cool with, and she went and told everybody. And you see everybody in by my granny complex, you know, area. That's F.P. How you doing, your baby mother? So the whole time my daughter is in the house, at my granny house, and I was told my cousins and them, y'all watch her. Wow, I do what I gotta do. I don't know what's going on. So, you know, I was nervous, but I was more scared because I leave my daughter, you know, like that. And they had my daughter in the room the whole time, ain't no nothing like that. But my daughter was, wait a minute, I don't even think she was 2. She had to be 4. She had to be 4. She had to be 4, y'all, not 2. She had to be 4. So my daughter was in the window, in the back room window, and she seen what's going on. So she's in the window crying. So Peter was telling the police officer, I want my daughter. They got my daughter in their hostage. I need my daughter. I want my daughter to, and being that he's the father, he has every right. So one of my cousins was like, you don't even know that's your daughter. She could be like my ex that who passed away, you know, just to do mind games on him. It could be such and such baby daughter, and you out here talking about you want your daughter, you want your daughter. So he was upset with that right there. With that news information, he was upset. So the police officer, so I get in, they escorted me in a car. They drove me down. It was like a block or 2 away from my granny house. The precinct was right there. And I was just like, call my mother, you know, and tell her what's going on like that. So the officer had escorted Peter up to my granny house. They had to give my daughter to him because that's his daughter, or like that. So we get to the precinct, and yes, I was right. At the time, we had beepers. So we get to the precincts. Of course, they do, you know, search and stuff like that. They ask me, do I have anything on me? Whatever. They still have my hands handcuffed. I said, yes, I have my beeper. At the time, I won't never forget what I had on that Friday. Because to remind you, I was just coming from work. I had on a lime, it wasn't lime, mint. Sorry, it was a mint green skirt with a white, like, tank top and a mint green and white, like, stripe, what you call that? Cardigan. I had on that, and I had on some nude, like, sandals. And I had my beeper on my skirt. So it was a female officer. She asked me, do I have anything on me? I said, yes, I have my beeper on me. And my beeper was on my right side. And I kid y'all not, she searched, she flipped and everything, couldn't find the beeper. She said, you sure you have a beeper on you? I said, I'm positive I have my beeper is still on me. Because I left my pocketbook and everything else at the house. But I didn't leave the beeper. I still had the beeper on me or whatever. So the whole time when Peter was getting my daughter from out of my granny house, the officers, when I was in the police car, the officer was asking me, do I have the girl belong? I said, yes, upstairs. You know, I ain't lying nothing about it. And that's when the tears started coming down because I was mad because I see him holding my daughter and acting like he, you know, big. Oh, Lord Jesus. Woo! I just started crying. I wasn't crying because I was in a cop car. I was crying because he's carrying my daughter like she's some trophy. You know, yes, he the father, but just still, you getting her mother locked up because you the one who told the girl to call the cops because the girl wasn't going to do it. But her little dumb, scary self, she still did it. So, when they took me down to the precinct and they gave Peter, my daughter, they was asking my aunt and them where the property at, and they gave the officer the property. So the way this go, 2 ways. So I go down to the precinct or whatever like that. They did my name. I even did fingerprint, mugshot picture. And they had me in the precinct jail, y'all. By myself, though. Remember, it's a Friday. And, you know, I was happy and blessed that I was in there by myself. So I was in there in that precinct jail for 6 hours. And where you go get your mugshot and your fingerprints at, this is where all the guys was in the back in the jails. Like it was two-sided. It was one on the right and one on the left, and it was like a numerous amount of gentlemen on both sides of the jail cells. So when they hear the gate open up, everybody chanting, you know, talking amongst themselves or whatever, and then they see a female, an officer bringing a female in. Yo, shorty, what you in here for? What you in? You too pretty to be in here. What you in here for? What you in here for? And I said murder. They said, nah, man, nah. And the officer that was doing, he was such a gentleman. I forgot his name, but he was so nice. He treated me like a princess. But wait, he said, you know you can't say that. I'm gonna act like I didn't hear you say that. Da, 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 da. And I was like, oh, well, you know, whatever. So after we did the mugshot and my fingerprints or whatever like that, I was asking him, do I get a record? Like, I'm gonna have a record. And he brought me back into my cell, and he told me, the way this goes, if she press charges 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna have to go to central booking, and this is where I'll be processed to go to prison. To, like, you know, I'll go to a prison, a woman's prison or something like that. He said, or if she doesn't press charges, then you free to go. And at the time, I didn't have to do no community service or nothing like that. I just would have to follow up, keep going to my court appointments or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. So of course, when I was in the jail cell, of course I'm by myself. I was singing all the gospel songs that I knew. God, please get me out of this. I want to go home to my daughter. Da 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 da. And the gentleman there who arrested me, he kept coming to me. You want a sandwich? I don't want your jail's food. I don't want that thing is dried and nasty. This thing will blink out again. Come on. I said, this food is, I gotta hurry up. This food is nasty. I don't want that. He said, no, I'm gonna go to the store and go get you a sandwich and some chips and something to drink. You hungry? At the time, I didn't have an appetite, so I was like, no, I'm not hungry. I said, but thank you. And then the next half an hour, he came back in there. He said, you good? I was like, yeah, I'm good. I want to go. Or what's the status of me getting out of here? What's going on? What are they gonna do? Now I'm getting, you know, aggravated because I'm still sitting in here all these hours and stuff like that. And then the third time he came to me and he said, well, she dropped the charges. He said it was he said it was an older lady with short hair. She came and got your daughter from him. She said, your aunt is here, my favorite aunt. I can't say her name because I don't know which. I have a lot of aunts, but I have a favorite aunt. She said, your aunt such and such is here and she's not playing. I said, yeah. And she said, so she's here or whatever, and he's also here. But the older lady, I told him that's his mother. He said, yeah, she took your daughter home with her while he's still here. So I said, why is he here and not the girl? Like, why the girl not here? He said that the girl did come and she pressed charges, and they got into a little argument because he made her, because, you know, she felt now, Big Willie, that she got me arrested or whatever, that she wasn't going to press no charges. I mean, she wasn't going to drop the charges. She wanted me to go through the whole bookings, jail time thing or whatever. But he made her drop the charges, so she got upset with him. So she came down there and she spoke with the officers and stuff like that, the sergeants, and she dropped the charges or whatever. So, but he's still there. Like, why he's still there? Like, so I kept asking the officer, so why he's still here? Yeah. Hold on. You can put so why he said, ma'am, I don't know why he's still hanging around or whatever like that. So he came and said, well, you release. At the time they had like a judge at the precinct, and the officer came and brought me to the judge. The judge asked me, do I understand the charges that was given to me? Do I understand this? And I said, yes, 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 yes. He said, you're free to go. Your next court date is such and such and such. Make sure you go to the court or whatever like that, unless they will have a warrant for your arrest, whatever, whatever. Fine. So my aunt and me, you know, my aunt came down there, and they had like a bubblegum machine over there. And I asked my aunt, can you give me a piece of bubblegum out the bubblegum machine, because my mouth is so dry. And the officer was like, no, I got it, I got it. The officer was like, I was asking you if you want anything. I kept saying no, because at the time I wasn't hungry. My mouth was dry, but I didn't want anything like that. The officer was nice. I'm telling you, the officers treated me like a queen. Because they knew the case was bullcrap. They knew it was bullcrap, because the way that he was acting, Peter was acting like an arrogant MF, they knew that the case was bullcrap. Like, you know, they understand what I did was wrong, but they understand why I did it, you know. So, as me and my aunt was leaving out to go walk down to my granny house, Peter is falling behind us. He's harassing me, talking about, I shouldn't have did, you know, but I did. Peter was like, I shouldn't have did what I gotta hurry up. Peter was like, I shouldn't have did what I did. I said, but you harassing me now. So my aunt was like, why the MF you keep falling my niece? She breaking on him now. And he backed up. And my aunt said, we going back in the precinct. We going to press charges on you. And when he heard that, that's when he went his own way. He told me I was never going to see my daughter again. And at the time, because I'm so upset, and he know that would get me mad and aggravated, that I was going to be clingy onto him. I said, you can have her. You can have her. I'm not fighting you over her. I'm not fighting you over her. And how his face, just like his eyes and everything, his nose flared up, his eyes got bigger, because he was so surprised that I said that. Yeah. Me and my aunt walked down to my granny house or whatever like that. You know, my mother was at work at the time, so my mother had told my aunt to come, you know, check up on me or like that. And then when my mom got off for work, she came to my granny house and she came and got me, and then we went home. So for that Friday and Saturday, I was just home chilling. You know, he was calling. I wasn't answering. Mine don't answer the phone. Nothing. We had took the phone at the time. We had the house phone, and we took the wires out of the cord out of the phone, so we can't hear the calls. But we needed to get, you know, to be access to a phone, so we put the phone back. But if it was him calling, because at the time we had caller ID, so we knew it was him. If it was a block thing, we knew it was him. Don't answer it like that. So he was like upset. So Saturday came, me, my mother, my cousin and them, we all went out. We went shopping and carrying on. I have no care in the world, no worries. I was kid free, whatever. I ain't care, whatever. And then Sunday, his best friend called me and was like, Peter wants to know if I can bring your daughter home. And I was like, as long as you don't have Peter with you, I'm letting you know now, if you have Peter with you behind closed doors, it's going to be a problem, and I'm not playing. He said, no, I already explained to him, I'm going to bring your daughter home. You know, he's doing this out of spite, da-da-da-da. So Sunday came, and he brought, his best friend brought my daughter home. His best friend brought my daughter home, where he had knocked on the door. I had a knife behind my back, and when I looked through the peephole, I told his best friend, I'm not playing, I have a knife, and if you bring my daughter, you just should be you. If it's him, he's gonna get stabbed and you're gonna get stabbed too. And the way that I was speaking, he knew that I wasn't playing. So when I opened the door, I got my daughter and I locked the door or whatever like that. And the guy, his best friend, was like, can you please answer the phone from him? I said, no, I'm not answering nothing. No. So I made sure I did not speak to him, my daughter's father, for a whole week had went by. He was calling and I guess at the time his job had told him that he's not able to use it any more days, so he had to go to work. So I knew when he was at work, I was at work, I get off before him. I go get my daughter, come home, and don't have no communication, nothing to do with him until I feel like it. So I gave him a week to suffer. Yes, I went back. Yes, I went back to him. Yes, I had another kid 3 years after that. And after those 3 years, I had my son. That was when I was pregnant with my son, I told him, this can no longer work. I'm done with you. You move on. You go your way. I go mine. My whole 9 months pregnancy, I want to be a nice, smooth pregnancy. I don't need you to come with me to no doctor's appointment. I don't need you there in the delivery room. I just don't need you anymore. And at that time, when I had my son, that was when the big cell phones was out. The big phones, the flip phone. That's when I had my own phone. I had a phone, the cell phone that had came out then. And that's my story time on how I was in the precinct prison jail because I stole. Precinct prison because I stole the girl's stuff. And I was going to court and she wasn't never showing up to court. So the judge dismissed the case and that was it. And they told me I have a whole year to have my record swiped out of the system like it never existed. So make sure you give me some thumbs up, comment down below, tell a friend coming over to Spicy Shauna channel so you get to know me, I get to know you. We big one big happy family. Thank you for hearing my story time. Leave some comments down below, or if y'all want to know what else happened after that or whatever. But basically that was it. Like after that, yes, I went back to him. We got back into a relationship. Things wasn't okay, but I still had another kid by him. But when I had this kid for the 9 months, we broke up, and that was just that. And yeah, make sure y'all subscribe to my channel. Make sure y'all turn on your post notification bell so y'all know each and every time I upload to a new video. And I'm signing out. Lego.